Good morning, friends. Today we shall start our new topic, that is the muscle physiology. In that muscle physiology, firstly we know about that the types of muscles. Second one, we have see the ultrastructure of skeletal muscles. This is the semester third and unit third. Let's we have start the introduction of the muscles physiology. Muscle physiology means it is nothing but the physiology they have presence into the muscles. You know that we know very well about that the muscles, it is nothing but the property of contractions and the relaxation. The cell having the properties of contraction and relaxation, it is also called as the muscles. The muscles always responds to the stimuli such as the mechanical effect, such as chemical effect, such as thermal effect, such as electricals. These are all the shocks. They may be always respond the muscles to the stimuli, and the muscles receives the stimuli from the motor nerves. There are three types of muscles in presence in the body of the human beings or the vertebrates. That is namely the smooth muscles, cardiac muscles and the skeletal muscles. These are the three different type of muscles it is present into the human body. So it is nothing but the types of the muscles. So first type of the muscles, that is the smooth muscles. The smooth muscles, they are the non-striated or the plain muscles, or it is nothing but called as the visceral muscles. This is not a striated muscles. It is nothing. It is not looking like a stripped muscles. It is the plain muscles or the visceral muscles. These muscles are the wall of visceral organs like stomach, intestines and the blood vessels. Means the smooth muscles, they have originated the structure in our body, that is called as the smooth stomach, intestine and the blood vessels. It is nothing but the spindle shaped with pointed ends. Means both points of that muscles, it has presents the point of the muscles, and it is nothing but the spindle shaped. They are involuntary muscles. Means they are not obey the orders with the willpower of the individual. So that's why they are the involuntary in muscles. The muscle fiber are covered with the thin membrane, it is called as the sarcolemma, and the sarcolemma, it is encloses the cytoplasm, it is called as the sarcoplasm. This is the structure of that muscles. So look at this picture. This is the types of the muscles. These are the both ends are pointed, it is centrally placed at the nucleus and it is a spindle shaped, and these types of muscles, they have making the intestine or the stomachs or the some blood vessels. So it is nothing but called as the smooth muscles. Second one, it is the cardiac muscles. You know that the cardiac muscles, they are present in the principal organs of the circulation, that is the heart. So this heart, it is making by this type of the muscles, that is called as the cardiac muscle. So the heart containing the cardiac muscles, they are the short cylindrical with the blunt end. Means the shape of that the muscles, it is a cylindrical, but it has a blunt ends. They are not a pointed ends is present into the cardiac muscles. They are involuntary muscles. Again, they are not obey the order of the will of individual. So that's why it is called as the involuntary muscles. And it is the cell covered with a membrane, it is called as the plasma, and this plasma, they are encloses the cytoplasm, it is nothing but called as the sarcoplasm. Now look at this, the picture. This is the cell, this is the spindle shaped, it is a cylindrical shaped, but the ends, they are not pointed. This is the blunt ends, and this type of muscles, they are using for the making of the heart. It is nothing but called as the cardiac muscles. Now third one is the skeletal muscles. You know that the skeletal muscle means the muscles, they have attached to the skeleton of the body of individual. It is called as the skeletal muscles. The skeletal muscles, it is otherwise called as the stripped muscles. they are attached to the bones, and it remains to the attached to the skeletal system. They are long, cylindrical, with blunt end. They are not a pointed end, it is present into the skeletal muscles. They are voluntary muscles. You know that all the two muscles are involuntary, but the third one is skeletal muscle, it is a voluntary. When the will of individual, they are the obey the orders of the will of individual, and then this muscles is works, means it is nothing but called as the voluntary muscles, means to the hand of work. When we going to the work, then the biceps and the triceps of the muscles, they are working to the will of individual, but at the rest position, this bicep and the triceps, they are not work. When we do the work, any type of weight we have to use from this your hand, at that time the biceps and the triceps, they are working. So this is nothing but called as the voluntary muscles. They are the peripheral multinucleated cells. Cytoplasm, it is contains the myofibrils. You know that the cell is, it has contained the myofibrils, and this myofibrils is represent for the formation of alternative, the dark and the light band into the skeletal muscles. That is one of the best example, that is the biceps and the triceps muscles. Look at this picture. This is the muscles, that is the skeletal muscles. You know that it is nothing but the stripped muscles. It is strictly attached to the skeletal system, and you know that this is the biceps and the triceps. When it is present these muscles, and these muscles, it is nothing but called as the skeletal muscles. Okay. Next one, we have to see the ultrastructure of skeletal muscles. Means the ultrastructure of skeletal muscles, when we see the muscles is attached to the skeletal system, they are called as the effector. Because of that, they are the will of individual. They comprises the main bulk. If the body mass of the most vertebrate, there are about 400 skeletal muscles in a man. Then each muscles is enveloped by the connective layer called as the epimysium, and each muscle fiber is covered by a thin connective tissue layer. It is called as the endomysium. This is the structure of that the muscles. The group of muscles fiber from the bundles, it called as fascicula, and each fascicula, it is covered by the connective tissue layer called as perimysium. Several fascicula unite to form a larger muscle such as triceps and the biceps. Now each muscle is formed of the several cells called the muscle fiber, and the muscle fibers are long, reaching a length of 12 centimeter. Then the sarcoplasm, it is contains numerous longitudinal protein filaments called as the myofibrils, and with the help of that myofibrils, the muscles is work. So each myofibrils, it is consisting the alternative thin and thick filaments. The thin filaments contains action protein, hence it is called as the actin filaments. Then the thick filament consists of myosin protein, actin protein and the myosin protein. It is present in the cells. So this myosin protein, it is called as the myosin filament. It is a thick filament, and it is involving the formation of dark band, and the thin filaments involves to formation of the light bands. Then the light band, it is called as the isotropic bond, and it is represented by capital I, and dark band, it is called anisotropic band, and it is represented by a means the isotropic band and the anisotropic band, that is I and A, these are the bands it is present into the muscles, and it is denoted by the capital I and capital A. So each dark band, you know that the dark band, it is possess narrow light line, is called as the capital H line, and each light band possesses a Z line. Then the protein between the two Z lines are called as the sarcomere, and sarcomere consists of two half thin filaments and one full thick filaments. Thin filaments and one thick filaments it is nothing but the sarcomere. It is the main contracting unit of the muscles. Next one we see, this is the figure, and it is nothing but the ultrastructure of the muscles. You know that this is the muscles, and these muscles, they have covering this layer, it is called as the sarcolemma, and this sarcolemma, it is encloses the cytoplasm, it is called as the sarcoplasm, and in the sarcoplasm there is a presence of fasciculi. You know that the bundle of fasciculi, it is present into the muscles. So each fasciculus, you know that this is one of the fasciculus. Each fasciculus, it is covered by the membrane. This membrane, it is called as the perimysium. And then perimysium, you know that this is the one muscle fiber, or this is one fascicula. This fascicula, it has covering the perimysium, and each fasciculus, it has presents the number of muscle fiber. So each one of the muscle fiber, it is enclosed into the fascicula. The outer covering of that muscle fiber, it is called as the endomysium. And this endomysium, you know that this is the single muscle fiber, and the single muscle fiber, it has encloses in between the endomysium, and endomysium, it has presents the myofibril, that is the actin, and the myosin fibrils, it has contents into the muscles. So it is nothing but the single dot, it is called as the myofibrils, and another one, it is called as the actin fiber. And this myosin fibrils, myosin filaments and actin filaments, it has presents the sarcomere, and this sarcomere, it is utilized for the contractions of the muscles. Now, thank you. Welcome your suggestions and the questions.